Well, I'm running out of things to rank, but then I remembered I have never made one of these videos. So this week we are going to rank the top 25 NBA players that are 25 or younger. Coming in from Chicago, we have Kobe White at 25. Kobe White hasn't been as good as he was a year ago, but make no mistake, he is still a top player at his age. Interchangeable with him, 25-year-old Anthony Simons finds himself at 23. His performance has taken a huge hit this season, and even considering all the things that factor into that, he still has been a major disappointment. The media has loved Amen Thompson as there is now real traction behind him being a future superstar. He will be on the all-defensive first team while contending to be the depoy this year, his second season. However, there are still certain things holding him back on offense that makes me believe that leaving him at 23 is the right spot for now. With the Pelicans suffering the amount of injuries they had, they're kind of unwatchable, but one of the reasons I still watch the Pelicans is because of Trey Murphy, and the way he has played is the single biggest reason why Brandon Ingram became expendable. Murphy looks as if he can take on the role of Ingram and then some on offense, as this season, Murphy is averaging 22, 5, and 4 on solid efficiency while being a lockdown defender. The two-way capabilities of him are undeniable, and only having him at 21 is honestly disrespectful. It's crazy to think RJ Barrett is still only 24 years old, but he somehow is. RJ Barrett has been a brand new player in his new change of scenery, as this season he is averaging 22, 7, and 6 in Toronto despite having to adjust to many things, such as his supporting cast being below underwhelming. I mean, the Raptors roster is terrible, and the injuries too are also not ideal, especially the ones to himself. Despite it all, he has been extremely productive, and he is officially underrated now, and he finds himself at 22 on my list. Jalen Green has taken a massive leap this year, as he is now putting up 21 a night. Efficiency is still a work in progress, but most nights he looks like a real number one option for a top team in the competitive West, which deserves some respect, and that is why he is at 20. I saw something the other day saying Chet Holmgren was the best 22-year-old in the NBA, and almost lost my mind because he is at best the second best player at his age. In my list, he is third best because, let's be honest, there are still some big-time flaws in his game, and he hasn't quite proven himself fully on the offensive end yet. Yes, he has some really great stretches, but at the end of the day, he isn't better than the next 18 players on my list quite yet, although he will be soon. Evan Mobley and Chet were a toss-up for me, but considering Mobley has been the most important piece to the Cavs puzzle as he has dictated success, I'm going to give him the nod right now. He has a chance to be the depoy and should be on the all-defensive first team right now while putting up 19, 9, and 3 on 57% shooting from the field and 38% shooting from 3. Make no mistake, he hasn't even touched his ceiling yet, but this year should indicate how good the 23-year-old is. His teammate Darius Garland is 25, making this the final time he appears on this list, putting up 22 points and 7 assists a night on 50% shooting from the field and 43% from 3. You would think he deserves to be higher, and I would agree if the young talent in the league wasn't so good. And if Garland was proven on the big stage, since that's still a big question mark for me. Scotty Barnes was a disappointment to me early in the year, but that has changed a lot over the past few weeks. I still do not excuse him for the horrid play early, and I do have questions about him, but I just think putting him lower than 16 would be crazy, and 16 is the right spot for now. Starting the top 15, we have Jalen Williams, aka J-Dub, the second option on the best team in basketball, or at least the best in the West. I know J-Dub is unproven in the playoffs, and there are still holes in his game, but I feel like we are taking for granted the fact he is 23 years old, putting up 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists a game on efficient shooting. He also competes on the defensive end at a high level, so not having him top 15 right now would just not be correct. Another 23-year-old, Franz Wagner, finds his way on my list at 14. Franz has been amazing all season, and even after getting hurt, he has come back and performed at the highest level. 25 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists a game on a team with horrid flaws on offense is nuts. He honestly has a case to be claimed to be better than Paolo for right now, but yeah, I just don't agree with that. I feel like the media isn't respecting Jaren Jackson Jr. as much as they should, so I am going to today by putting him at 13. His numbers don't exactly jump off the screen for anyone, but the impact he has had on this Grizzlies team thus far in 2025 needs to be more noted. Ja has been out with injury more than he has played, and Desmond Bane has been terribly inconsistent all season. Yet the Grizzlies have found themselves as a 2 or 3 seed all year. The driving force behind that is their depoy, 23-point per game scorer, Jaren Jackson Jr., and the 25-year-old has already earned this respect. He just needs to prove himself offensively in the playoffs, and we got an elite basketball player that should be respected in the top 10 under 25. But he's not quite there yet. The third Rocket on this list is Alperen Sengun, who is similar to Triple J in the sense that his numbers don't tell the entire story of his impact. 19, 11, and 5 isn't exactly eye-opening, but he does play the similar game to Jokic, and as a result, he is the best player on a very good Houston team. Shockingly enough, a player who would have been locked into the top 5 last season finds himself at 11 in Tyrese Haliburton. Hallie has been so underwhelming this season as all his numbers have dropped, most notably his efficiency as a whole, and now he is hardly the player he once was. He is turning it around a bit, though. The biggest snub of the All-Star game, if you ask many, is LaMelo Ball, and there is a reason for that, as he was averaging 30 points and 8 assists a night at the time. His production has slipped a little, but at the end of the day, LaMelo Ball is still one of the best stars of the game, especially at the age of 23. The reason he is at 10 and not higher is simply because he does not play winning basketball, and if that continues, no matter the numbers he puts up, he will be unable to win anything due to his style of play. Controversially, Tyler Herro is at 9 on my list. If you haven't paid any attention, Tyler Herro is now a clear-cut top 5 shooting guard in the NBA at the age of 25. Herro has come out in 2025 shocking the NBA world as the one option for the Heat by putting up an extremely efficient 24.6 rebounds and 6 assists a night. I don't think we are respecting his play from this year enough. Without a doubt in my mind, 24-year-old Zion Williamson is the most difficult player to rank. When he plays, the dominance is clear, but the reliability of him is a huge red flag that prevents me from having him as a clear-cut top 3 player 25 and under. Honestly, if Zion was reliable in the health department, I believe he would be 3rd on my list, but he isn't, so I have to put him at 8. First-time All-Star Cade Cunningham has been amazing all season, and any doubt about the former number 1 overall pick's ability to be a one option has been silenced. Right now, he's averaging 25.6 rebounds and 9 assists a night, and has a high chance of being a one option on a playoff team, at worst play-in team, after finishing as the worst team in the East the past 2 seasons. The only difference is the supporting cast, and the only difference is that it's actually competent now, and he's leading the team to the 6th seed. Pistons are looking to continue to shock the world, and the successes can be traced back to the All-Star. 2 players ahead of him will be knocked off the list due to age next year, and with how wide open the number 1 spot will be, it is scary to think of where Cade Cunningham might be next season, as he is the biggest riser of the group right now. Tyrese Maxey, man. The only competent player of the big 3 in Philly that had so much expectations. The efficiency hasn't been great this season in large part because of how he plays on the most injury-riddled team in the NBA, but that isn't really an excuse. He has had struggles during the year in his career, but I think watching his most recent stretch of games where he almost averaged 37 points in 13 straight games while leading a bunch of G League and two-way players tells you all you need to know about Maxey. Cade could be argued over him, but we must remember how Maxey is a proven player on the biggest stage already after his amazing showing in the playoffs last year, and he is still only 24. So, yeah, Tyrese Maxey is easily a top 6 player at the age of 25 and under. Do not let this season fool you. Paolo Banchero is a top 5 player 25 and under, and he is still on a superstar trajectory and is very elite. At 22 years old, Paolo has proven he can dominate the league, and his style of play within the roster he is currently a part of has handicapped him for the worst, with his strengths being slashing, yet the floor spacing being historically bad around him, and he's still putting up impressive numbers. Add some shooting in Orlando, and I guarantee Paolo's numbers skyrocket across the board because no team will have an answer for him, because right now he's a matchup nightmare, and he's going to continue to be that. Victor Wembanyama has been amazing all of 2025, as he was the front runner for Depoy as well as deserving of an all-star starting spot. He's also a matchup nightmare, just like Paolo. We have not seen anything like this before, and he is the best of the unproven playoff-wise young stars we have, and that is why he finds himself at 4, right behind 3 elite proven players. The first one I have is Ja Morant. Ja has had his struggles to stay on the court in terms of injuries and antics, but one thing is clear. Ja Morant is a top point guard in the NBA and one of the best proven young stars in the game. He is not better than Anthony Edwards, however, as the 23-year-old in Minnesota continues to keep growing as a player. This season, his three-point shooting has grown to an amazing level, as he is currently shooting 41% while averaging 28, 6, and 5 on top of that. Anthony Edwards' team is horrible offensively, making it a factual statement that cannot be argued when I say Anthony Edwards is the entire offense for the Timberwolves. The stardom of Ant is out of this world, and with Ja being 25 and the next player being 25, Ant is on the trajectory to be the unanimous number one player under 25 for the next 2 seasons, as he's only 23. He had to be at number 2, though, because the new Los Angeles Lakers superstar is still 25 years old and qualifies for this list. Yes, Luka Doncic is still number 1 on this list, and I don't think I have to explain. I hope y'all enjoyed this ranking. Comment down below who your favorite player under 25 is. I would say mine is either Paolo or Maxey, but I'm most interested in seeing Trey Murphy and Evan Mobley the next year, as they have crazy ceilings. If you want to watch my newest tier list that was updated after the trade deadline, the updated rankings is in the video on the upper right, while my weekly recap called In Case You Missed It is on the upper left. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and y'all stay safe. Have a good one. Bye.